All right, my name is Alex Dalton.
And I'm DaltonChinique.
And we did our capstone, and we named it CAK's Athletic Facilities Through Different Eyes. So a little bit about what went on before our capstone. It was kind of a slow process that...
It's a rocky ride.
Yeah, it was a rocky ride, but we had known, we've gone to CAK our whole lives, and we had known about the capstone for a really long time, and we didn't think about it, we never thought about it as working as partners until, the beginning of this year. But personally, I went on the route of, kind of pushing it off until I did have an idea at the end of the summer between my sophomore and junior year. Christian Porter, one of my good friends who's doing his capstone on the time capsule, he showed me his drone, and I've grown up owning some RC cars, some RC planes, stuff like that. And I thought it was really, really cool. And so I ended up getting like a combined early birthday, Christmas present kind of deal. And we started, flying our drones around, and we still didn't think much about the capstone. But we had this tool that we could have used. Obviously, I did not end up using my drone as a tool to do my capstone, but it never really came to fruition with Doug. He eventually told me that he would be working on a separate one, of course. So he's not my partner, and that kind of was like a dead end for me. So, Eli, you want to tell a little bit about what happened with you?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed like messing with computers and stuff and electronics, and I hang out with a bunch of car guys, and we like to take pictures and videos and edit the videos and stuff. So I've done that before, and after hanging out with one of my friends while I'm doing it, I decided I wanted to try to do something like that, or probably like late sophomore year. But I could just never find anything that allowed me to do it to the extent that I wanted, or like part of something that I enjoyed and like really cared about editing and doing. And so I just kind of pushed that to the back of my mind, decided to try to find something else. So I decided to shadow my friend's dad, who owns his own vet clinic off Oak Ridge Highway. And I went there a couple times, but due to like schedule complications and time restraints, I couldn't make it in because he's closed on Sundays. So and because of sports and any like work I did, I can only go in early Wednesday mornings and Saturdays because he closes at 4 o'clock during the week, so I couldn't make it in. So I had to give up on that. And then we just kind of decided.
Earlier in the year, you held that the capstone meeting, and you had the time slots available, and it was kind of like a shell shock. That was in the fall, but it was still kind of like, hey, there aren't many open spots. April is when you're going. And obviously it's hard to get good like drone footage throughout the winter time, not good weather or anything. So then we, even after that, we still kind of procrastinated a little bit. We could have done better. But we just started brainstorming ideas. We realized that we wanted to try to like utilize our skills and what we had already and try to incorporate that and maybe like grow skills. Eli didn't know how to fly the drone. He didn't even like want to touch the controller at first, but I showed him how to do that, and it was hard watching him fly. Like, it was hard letting him, but it was a good learning experience, and it was a lot of fun. So we brainstormed ideas, and we came to the point, there's a light bulb here. We came to the point, hey, we both play sports. We've been around CAK for a really long time. I've been playing in the campus center, playing on the football field. Obviously, it's new with the turf, but I've been on the football field since I was a little kid. So we just wanted to do something with that, and we had the idea of our project, and we just started. We started thinking about who could have been our mentor.
Yeah. So when we started to get to that point, we have Coach Goff, who does the videos for the football team and everything. So we thought about maybe doing him, but then it just would have been too hard because he's got college, and so he couldn't have been there all like really to help us along that much. So then we decided on Rev Burns to help us with that, and he said yes, and he's been amazing through the whole process. I learned how to edit a little bit better, and Alex picked up a few skills here and there on it.
Yeah, and we just kind of got talking with him. I've known him for a really long time, so it wasn't hard to talk to him. And I just texted him. I was like, hey, you want to be our capstone mentor? And he said, sure. What are you guys thinking about? So he just kind of helped us with that brainstorming idea and coming up with ideas to execute. So some of our fears about this project, to
Definitely the time crunch.
Yeah, we had a time crunch. That was partly on us, partly we lead busy schedules with
Senior trip, spring break.
Senior trip, spring break. 2 sports for both of us. Eli has a job. It was just difficult to find time, and there were some days when we were finally getting the gist of all like the game film that I wanted to get on the drone footage. I would have to go to school, go to track practice, and then go like immediately after that to film like a soccer game. And that was just like a lot of time and a lot of effort going into it. And I want to say our abilities, we were very ambitious. We shot very high. We wanted to do this on our own without
really any help, just to get it and still make a good quality product.
Yeah.
But we slowly realized that while we may like have the basic skills to do like a small, very, very small version of this, there's no way we could do all of this without any help.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a question of our abilities. We shot high, but at the beginning of the project, we realized that we may not be able to make a quality video, and we were just wondering about the success of like our initial goal, if we would be able to achieve that. So these are really bad videos. Really, they're interesting. I've had the drone obviously for close to 2 years now, and this is my brother's fiance, and she is in our backyard throwing a ball with her dog. So this is a little example I want to show you guys of, all right, like I sent this over to Eli, but this is like how our drone piloting skills and editing skills were at the beginning. This kind of shows like a little progression of our skills, if it'll load. If it'll load. There we go.
Do the sound on.
So we just kind of like, we had, obviously Eli had been doing that for a little bit, had been doing some filming stuff, and that was just something like, obviously the drone footage is not all that good, and it's something that kind of shows where we were at that time. Here's another video that I shot and Eli edited. I'll just keep it like as it is. That was a completely random girl. I did not know who that was at all, but
Just decided to follow her.
yeah, she did end up waving, but it was just kind of random.
I didn't mess with this video. Alex
Yeah.
did this one all by himself.
This was like right before Doug and I. That's me and Christian Porter at Regal Cinemas, West Town. And that just kind of goes to show where we were before the project. Obviously, this is the finished product. My drone skills have gotten better as time has gone on. Eli learned a lot through this process about how to edit. But in terms of like editing-wise, this, I believe, if I'm speaking for the both of us, is where we want to be as editors, as something like we gave ideas, directions, we had some hands-on experience, but the gist of this was handled by Mr. Burns, and this is kind of like, we wanted to make a marketable product, and this is kind of like the finished product that somebody who's good at editing can make, and that's just kind of our goal. So kind of the aftermath, I don't know if that's a great word because that kind of like implies that there's a catastrophe, but like kind of the post-project thoughts we had. Something we would definitely change.
Start earlier, but definitely start earlier, because it would have been a lot less stressful to have more time and more dates to pick from, instead of having to try to like pick schedules that worked for both of us, with having to find time around visits up to college, like work, sports.
And I mean, we made our decision early on, earlier in the year, but we still missed a lot of like the fall sports and missed drone footage. Obviously, I could get like an empty football field, but we weren't able to capture any practices. It might not be best to, fly during a volleyball game, but it still would have been nice to have like a shot with all the nets up and stuff. But that was kind of like something we would definitely change, is just more time doing, getting started earlier. We had a pretty decent plan, but we could have planned out a little bit better. You want to talk about the impact that it had on us?
Yeah, the impact is like, after doing this, it showed how much time and effort you have to put into even a little like video project. Like, this is only 3 minutes long, but we got like 40 minutes of drone footage probably.
Mm-hmm.
And we only pulled 1/10 of that out, and not even all this isn't our drone footage, it's from the Warrior Network. So it definitely gave a greater appreciation for anyone that does production, makes media, or anything like that.
And that was kind of like, I remember at the very beginning of the project, one of the fears that we had is that Anthony Burns said, I think he said something along the lines of, for every minute of a finished marketable product that somebody like is asking me to make, I expect to spend close to 8 hours on 1 minute of it. So obviously we could not have been able to do that skill-wise and or time-wise, but that was just like showing like a greater appreciation, like, wow, this requires a lot of effort, skill, management, stuff like that. And one of the main lessons I learned from doing this project, not from like the aftermath, it's just kind of, we're all like average consumers, I'd say. And there are obviously they're creators and they're consumers. There are people that create stuff like this all the time. And like we have a better appreciation for what they do. And it's kind of hard to like take a step back and think, hey, somebody put a lot of time and effort into doing this. Obviously, like the Marvel movies, the ones that are 3 hours long with the super nice, graphics and stuff like that, I can't even begin to imagine how much time goes into that. And so that was just like a greater appreciation. And also, we're all like average consumers. If you want to like, if you feel compelled to create, and if you have like a tool to do so, I believe that you should definitely take the initiative and do that. I had a lot of fun doing this. I believe Eli did too. And
I had a ton of fun just learning how to do more, just getting to experience actually making something like this, especially because it's something that we both like have done all our lives and like love to do.
Yeah, so it was an awesome experience to create for once, and instead of just watching a 3-minute video, we made a 3-minute video.
All right, my plan for the near future is I'm going to go to Center College and play football up there, and I'm not sure. I'd originally planned to major in veterinary medicine, but for the time being, I still plan on majoring in a biology-related field. And after this project and how much I had fun doing it, I'll possibly go for a minor in computer technology or film editing.
I'm going to Berry College next year to play football and possibly run track. I plan to major in business and or engineering, just see where I go from there. I could maybe, obviously, if you guys have seen Berry's campus, it's like prime grounds for drone, any and everything drone and like editing. So that could possibly, I don't see myself like pursuing that as a career or as something that would be like a financial income later on down the line, like my primary financial income, but I could definitely see it happening as a hobby, just because I have it. It's just right there. It's small. It's easy to use. You can carry it, in your hoodie pocket, honestly. So I could see it maybe as a hobby, and maybe I might send, even though Center's Barry's rival, might send some footage over to Eli. He might edit it, and also we will see each other on the field September 22nd, 2018 for Showdown. So that is our capstone.
Very good.